he asked us to do a term paper, and we did a term paper on Indian society course. And after 2 months of me and a friend of mine, we did the term paper, and after 2 months of constant interaction and brainstorming, we came to the realization the first thing and the first class that Professor Jyotka took us. So as he keeps mentioning that there is a requirement to repeat the things that you learn and that you teach, I think that very subconsciously settles in the first class itself. The first thing that he teaches us in the first class itself is something that you stumble upon when you are doing the course for the last day. So that repetitive process has a way of shaping how we look at Indian society in particular. This is the anecdote part. Now I would like to formally introduce this session. On behalf of the PhD scholars, including those who had the privilege of being under his supervision, and the MS students of Center for the Study of Social Systems, I welcome you all, those who have gathered here to celebrate the life, work and journey of Professor Surinder Singh Jyotka. As has been contextualized in the previous session, we now move forward to a more personal and under-discussed realm of Professor Jyotka's illustrious career. We discuss the role of a collaborator and a mentor. A collaborator and a mentor for whom, as his colleagues who have written to us and as his scholars have also unanimously pointed out, his career and the under-discussed realm of that career is the academic rigor of his work coexist with his humane and generous care for his scholars. So that is something that we have all, faced with him. He brings a sense of calm and relief to anyone who so much as, have a passing conversation with him, something which is increasingly hard to find in academia these days. So I can personally attest for this, as on innumerable occasions that I was in the field and I was, what Ruth Behar calls a vulnerable observer. I was anxious and vulnerable, exposed to a field that I'm not familiar with. And in those moments of deep anxiety and personal troubles, I just called him up. I remember a time when I called him up from the school. I work on elite school, so I worked there, and I called him up, and in a matter of, 2 minutes, I was back to my sense of normalcy, and jokingly, of course, I didn't, do that much work today. Because his sense of relaxation was such deeply, felt that on that day you need not be anxious, and that anxiety actually plays a role in collecting data from the field, but sometimes it's good to not have that anxiety. So the ability to ease someone out of the anxieties and vulnerabilities of the fieldwork is something that we understand, which emerges from a deep sense of care and understanding the unbearable nature of the field. So even those, and this is something from my personal conversation with those who he didn't supervise but had a conversation with. So even those who did not get to be supervised by him confided in me that his words of encouragement soothed their perturbed souls. And one more important thing that he was mentioning yesterday only, the intimidating part. So he has that thing of intimidation that comes about very strongly. So that quote-unquote intimidating part was also not lost on many of the students. But as Professor told me yesterday only, that it is by design and not a default way of dealing. So that intimidation actually plays a role in bringing out that which doesn't usually in a comfortable situation does. So this is something that we discussed while we were developing this. Moving forward, I have a list of letters of your collaborators and students. So I'm going to read the next few sections. First is by James Maynard, University of London. He writes, and I begin, in more than 10 years of discussions, co-editing and seminars, and yes, Punjabi meals, Surinder has taught me an immense amount. And he has done it with a great sense of humor. He even smiles while a debate is raging, something that I cannot manage to do. He listens so carefully, with an admirably open mind and an eagerness to learn. And that is something that is hugely refreshing. He seems forever young. So his words, He seems forever young. How lucky we are all to have known him. This is James Manner, University of London. Another is one of your ex-colleagues, and this is Professor Sanjay Srivastava from SOAS. And he has written a long piece, so I'll just and I ask everyone to be patient about it. It is a great honor, and I begin the letter. It is a great honor to say these words on the occasion of Surinder Jodhkar's retirement. Surinder is both a friend and someone I regard as one of the finest sociologists of his generation. His scholarship on the changing nature of village society has been genre-defining within sociology and has also attracted a wide and engaged readership. A remarkably productive scholar, Surinder's work is distinguished by its attention to multiple scales of analysis. It is fair to say that his scholarship has allowed us to see how topics such as rural society and caste are deeply intertwined with regional, national, and global processes. For me, the most fundamental aspect of his research is the way it remains rooted in the specificities of his fieldwork sites, while simultaneously situating them within the broader context and processes of contemporary modernity. Surinder is also an important contributor to the growing body of work on elite studies, something that out of that growing body of elite studies, my research also began. His co-edited volume, Mapping the Elite, exemplifies the remarkable breadth of his scholarly interest. It is a rare work in which rural and urban elites are examined within the same analytical frame, allowing for more meaningful comparative insights. The book pushes us into new territories in the study of socioeconomic hierarchies, the contexts that shape them, and the world they bring into being. This framework is fundamental for understanding the complex social and cultural entanglements that produce what we call modernity. My own recent engagement with Surinder's work relates to my ongoing research on the interface between rural and urban Gurugram. While struggling to conceptualize the idea of frontier, I found great clarity in his critique of popular formulations of the rural-urban binary. The notions of a frontier often suggest a zone of aberration where life is believed to diverge from the imagined norms of settled localities. That idea helped me formulate my own arguments. The ideas that helped me formulate my own arguments draws upon a discussion in Surinder's 2023 book, The Indian Village, the book that he wrote in remembrance of the farmer movements. So the Indian Village, Rural Lives in 21st Century. There, he writes about the stereotypical images of rural social life and that are often constructed and invoked by middle-class urban Indians to convey the superiority of their own lifestyle. This observation resonates deeply with what we see in the so-called frontier zones of Gurugram, where similar stereotypes are produced through middle-class discourses that portray their own life worlds as less corrupt and more advanced than the hinterlands surrounding them. Surinder Jodhkar's retirement is of course a landmark moment for CSSS, yet as recent conversations with him make clear, the conclusion of his formal academic tenure has little to do with the life that he continues to lead as an active scholar. He is, as I know, in the midst of fieldwork, and I wish him many more years of such intellectual engagement along with good health. I also look forward to our continuing conversations on the entanglements between the urban and the rural in Indian life. And this is the last one that is written by Jules Naudet from CNRS France. And here he writes that working alongside Surinder Jodhkar has been one of the deepest intellectual pleasures of my career. His contribution to the sociology of India, and especially to the study of caste, are nothing short of historical. At a time when Orientalist narratives continued to cloud our understanding of caste, Surinder brought an extraordinary conceptual clarity that reshaped the field. By insisting on a rigorously material and objective approach, he returned the concrete, lived dimensions of caste to the center of scholarly inquiry. Surinder's rare ability to grasp long-term transformations stemmed from his formidable command of the literature, combined with an unshakable commitment to grounding theory in empirical research. His distinction between three major strands of caste scholarship, caste as tradition, caste as power, and caste as humiliation, remains a landmark. Together, in our introduction to the Handbook of Caste, we further developed this typology and deepened his exploration of the diverse ways in which caste takes shape in contemporary and historical contexts. Surinder confronted caste with complete lucidity, attending simultaneously to its brutalities at the bottom, particularly its humiliating effects on Dalit lives, and to the opportunity hoarding practices of elites at the top. Thanks to him, it has become impossible to study caste without engaging seriously with prejudice, discrimination, domination, and humiliation. Beyond his intellectual brilliance, Surinder embodies a rare generosity. Unlike many senior professors, his relationships have never been shaped by hierarchy. For him, what made a sociologist was the quality of one's contribution, not one's status. This ethic, as Professor Baidik was mentioning, this ethic allowed him to cultivate profoundly horizontal relationships with the students and colleagues alike. Working with him has been an immense privilege, and the lessons I have learned from his companionship will remain invaluable. All best, Jules. So this is where I end, and there are another host of scholars who want to talk about. For example, you have Dr. Prashant Negi here, who wanted to say some words about you. So please, you're welcome, sir.
Good evening, everybody. It's my singular pleasure and honor to speak about Professor Jyotka today. I am Professor Jyotka's PhD student also, and I've had the honor of working with him professionally as well over a period of time. And so I'm going to keep it short, and I'm just going to speak about the kind of relationship that we shared over a period of time, and how I feel that his contributions have been very relevant to the growth of subaltern studies, caste studies, and sociology in particular. So, if I may borrow from Popper, there are certain seminal studies which make a paradigm shift, and Professor Jyotka's studies have been in that genre. He has written extensively, as people have prior to me have pointed out, on the issues of caste and humiliation and discrimination. But what I feel which has not been underscored is that why are we ideologically or academically oriented to work on certain thematics and variables, and why is it that certain people choose to associate with such complex variables such as caste and continue their association and scholarship in that area. So we find generally in sociology and academics that not a lot of people work on such variables. Secondly, what I found very interesting about Sir is that that he also is one of the first sociologists in India to engage with the issue of caste from not just from a qualitative aspect. He introduced the notion of statistical analysis and empiricism into caste studies, and thereby extending our own understanding of the specificities of caste. Thirdly, what he also showed us was that caste does not have a pan-Indian character. His work highlights the localized aspects of caste and how caste operationalizes through certain agencies, and what is the constitutive relevance of caste in that context. Power relations has been at the core of his work. He has given us the notion of ascriptive hierarchies, which has extended our understanding of caste till the time we knew of it. So his work is very concurrent. It's very relevant to us, and Another thing which I noticed about him is that he's very hardworking, and no matter whenever I have gone and met him or I have seen him, while passing through the corridors of CSSS, I've seen that that he's always on his computer and he's always engaged with his work, and the corridors of CSSS have seen great sociologists, and we've had the honor of studying under them and working under them, working with them. And I would place Professor Jyotka right at the top in that category. So I wish you, I think, sir, when you talk about caste, you also talk in terms of shifting identities. So I don't think you are superannuating, you are merely shifting from JNU to a new role. And I wish you all the best, and I wish you good health, sir, and please accept my gratitude for accepting me as your student and subsequently allowing me to learn from you. Thank you so much.
My heartfelt pranam to the respected professors, special regards to Jyotka sir, and greetings to all of us. I'm Yashaswini Shukla, student of Masters in Sociology first year. So certainly, very brief journey with sir to say quite much. But I believe, and that is how we have seen sir in the class, that some things, some dimensions of our personality are so much innate that they very effortlessly express themselves. Being with sir, like it was being mentioned in one of the very beautiful letters, we very frequently used to forget the difference we have of experience, of scholarship, of everything. It would always be so welcoming, so comforting, so warm, and most importantly, as a student, there never ever was hesitation even to ask the silliest of questions, interrupting in between. I think that's what's the generosity of Jyotka sir. We all, having such brief period of classroom experience with sir, did wish that if only we could have some more of it. But at the same point of time, I am almost absolutely sure that we have been so thankful that even if it was for a brief period of time, we too will all throughout our lives have this honor of identifying ourselves as one of the students of Jyotka sir. With these words, I pray Almighty that sir you will always be blessed with the best of health and happiness, which is so much Jyotka sir being Jyotka sir. And lastly, ऐसा मेरा दृढ़ विश्वास है कि सूरज कभी अस्त नहीं होता है। वो किसी एक क्षितिज पर अस्त होता दिख सकता है तो किसी दूसरे क्षितिज पर वो उदित हो रहा होता है। ऐसे सूर्य हमारे बीच रहे हैं और हम उनकी ओर हमेशा उन्मुख होंगे जब भी जीवन के मार्ग में कुछ अंधकार दिखेगा। And that I feel will be the true spirit of darkness and to light which JNU embodies and which professors like Jyotka sir embody and which we will always be grateful for having received so much from him. Sagar pranam sir.
I now invite Harinder to read a few letters. Some of them are in Punjabi, so he'll be the best to read those. So here you come.
Thank you, Vikas. I am not from City Plus, but सुरेंद्र जोतका सर ने मुझे कभी ये एहसास नहीं होने दिया कि मैं City Plus में नहीं हूँ। मेरा जर्नी मैं इतने इसी में समराइज करना चाहूँगा। Thank you, sir. Now I would like to read some letters. First by Mr. Jagat Sohail, who is at Max Planck Institute of Social Anthropology, and also Professor Jyotka's elder son. Dear Bapu, I have often said that my only regret about growing up in JNU is that it meant I could never really be a student here, not if I wanted the full and authentic life of a JNU of a student out of their own. As you retire, my heart adds another layer to that melancholia. Perhaps that one complaint I have about being your son is that I could never be Professor Jodka's student. For that, I genuinely envious of all the students here who can speak about your teaching and the influence you have had on them, not only in how you structured your classrooms, but in how you helped shape what JNU itself was and what it offered its students. Then again, I suppose I was there at the very beginning. I doubt many in this room can picture a black beard version of you in the classroom, a baby in arms, as you told. What would that image tell them about the parent you are, and how might it deepen their understanding of the teacher you became? After all, you have always lived the knowledge you sought. The questions that animated your work could never be separated from who you are. As a father or as a teacher, whether sitting around our dining table or at academic round table, whether making a big statement about our place in the world or a small one about my responsibility to my friends. So perhaps I did grow up in a different sort of classroom, one that, unlike the formal one, will not end with your retirement. JNU will miss Professor Jodka, but I will continue learning from Bapu. Congratulations and all my love. Next one is from Dr. Darshan Pal, who is a farmer leader. He sent this message in Punjabi. ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸੁਰਜੀਤ ਪਾਤਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਮਸਲਾ ਸਿਰਫ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਪਿੰਡ ਦੀ ਹੋਂਦ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੈ, ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸੁਰਿੰਦਰ ਜੋਤਕਾ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੰਮ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੋਂਦ ਨੂੰ ਫਰੋਲਣ ਦਾ ਉਪਰਾਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਲੰਮੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਤੋਂ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਖੇਤੀਬਾੜੀ ਸਮਾਜ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਤਬਦੀਲੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਸਿਰਫ ਅਕਾਦਮਿਕ ਭਾਸ਼ਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਮਝਾਇਆ, ਬਲਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਆਮ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਤੱਕ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਈ। ਕਿਸਾਨ ਅੰਦੋਲਨ ਵੇਲੇ ਜਦ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਦੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਅਰਥਸ਼ਾਸਤਰੀ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਅੰਦੋਲਨ ਵੇਲੇ ਜਦ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਦੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਅਰਥਸ਼ਾਸਤਰੀ ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਦਨਾਮ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗੇ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਜੋਧਕਾ ਹੋਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੀ ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ ਦਾ ਪੱਖ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਰੱਖਿਆ। ਕਿਸਾਨ ਅੰਦੋਲਨ ਦੀ ਜਿੱਤ ਬਸ ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੀ ਜਿੱਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ, ਬਲਕਿ ਸੁਰਿੰਦਰ ਜੋਧਕਾ ਹੋਰਾਂ ਵਰਗੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿੱਤ ਸੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਵੀ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਪਾਇਆ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੁਬਾਰਕਬਾਦ ਅਤੇ ਸ਼ੁਭਕਾਮਨਾਵਾਂ। Another letter from Professor Kuldeep Singh from Department of Education at Punjab University, Patiala. He writes, ਵਿਦਾਇਗੀ ਮੌਕੇ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਸਮਾਜ ਦੀਆਂ ਪੀੜਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਗੁੰਝਲਵਾਰ ਤਬਦੀਲੀ ਨੂੰ ਬੌਧਿਕ ਚਿੰਤਨ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਸਮਝਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਸ਼ਖਸੀਅਤ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਜੋਧਕਾ ਉੱਪਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨਾਜ਼ ਹੈ। ਭਾਰਤੀ ਸਮਾਜ ਦੀਆਂ ਜੜ੍ਹਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਈ ਜਾਤਾਂ, ਧਰਮਾਂ, ਸੱਭਿਆਚਾਰ ਤੇ ਅਸੰਭਾਵਿਕਣ ਦੇ ਵਿਕਾਸ ਸਮੋਏ ਹਨ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਖੋ ਵੱਖ ਪਰੰਪਰਾਵਾਂ, ਰਵਾਇਤਾਂ, ਵਿਚਾਰਧਾਰਾਵਾਂ ਨਵੇਂ ਤੇ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਵਿਰੋਧਾਂ ਕਾਰਨ ਟਕਰਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਨਮ ਦਿੰਦੀਆਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਿਚਲੀ ਲਗਾਤਾਰਤਾ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣ, ਖੋਜਣ ਤੇ ਸਮਝਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਜ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਜੋਧਕਾ ਪ੍ਰਤੀਬੱਧਤਾ ਨਾਲ ਦਹਾਕਿਆਂ ਬੱਧੀ ਕਾਰਜਸ਼ੀਲ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। ਜਿਸ ਕਿਸਮ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਪੇਂਡੂ ਸਮਾਜ ਦੀਆਂ ਅੰਦਰੂਨੀ ਪਗਡੰਡੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਕੜਿਆ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਚੇਤਨਾ ਤੇ ਚਿੰਤਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਚੇਤ ਤੇ ਸੁਚੇਤ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੇਂਡੂ ਭਾਈਚਾਰੇ ਦਾ ਚਲਨ ਢੰਗ ਨਾਲ ਕਾਰਜਸ਼ੀਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਕਿਸਮ ਦਾ ਜਾਤੀ ਉਭਾਰ, ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਟਕਰਾਅ ਜਾਂ ਰਾਜਨੀਤਿਕ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਸ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਸ ਦਾ ਸੁਲਝਦਾ ਸਵਾਲ ਪੰਜਾਬ, ਹਰਿਆਣਾ ਵਿਚਲੇ ਜੱਟ, ਜਾਟ, ਦਲਿਤ ਅਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਸਾਰੇ ਭਾਈਚਾਰਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਰਾਜਨੀਤਿਕ ਵਿਚਲੀਆਂ ਵੰਗਾਰੀਆਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਰੂਪ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ। ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਜੋਧਕਾ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਤੀਜੀ ਅੱਖ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਾਰਜ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੁਭਕਾਮਨਾਵਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਮੁਬਾਰਕਬਾਦ। So there are some more letters we will read later, like they're in Punjabi. Now I would like to invite Vikas for further proceedings.
Have it, there are contingent interest developing. So we have a MS student, second year, who just wants to say something. I think she might just be the second last batch that you took of MA. So she has something to say.
Hello everyone, I guess I'm audible. Hello sir. I consider myself as one of the most fortunate students in JNU to be attending sir's lecture. I was the second last batch that Surinder Jodhkar took in JNU. So I've not prepared a speech, but then I think if I do not say this today, I'd regret it all my life. So the first day that I met Professor Jodhkar sir was for our orientation in CSSS Center. And I remember like all the professors were sitting in front and I was sitting on the first row and there was no seat and sir sat next to me. And this girl, Tamanna, in my class was like, how lucky are you the first day, for your sociology batch? you're sitting next to Jyotka sir. And I was like, oh my god. And you know, like for the first few lectures, I was so intimidated. I mean, he's such a huge sociologist, and but then eventually, by the end of my course, he became a professor to whom I can go each time I had any anxiety, any random, very silly doubt. I can go to professor and ask him or tell him. On the outside, like, he is intimidating. He is strict. Like, he has this very strict policy of no laptops, no, you cannot take your phone in your class. But then honestly, sir, those lectures were so captivating. I did never feel like touching my phone. And in his lecture, there is this one pattern. We start with the Indian village, caste, the Indian Hindu, and we go in a very perfect cycle where by the end of this course, sir very beautifully deconstructs these romanticized notions that we've always had. I think Professor Jyotka will always leave a mark in me as a scholar, as a budding sociologist maybe at some point. And I'm forever grateful, and thank you for always being there. And JNU will surely miss you. I will surely miss you, but I'm sure I'll be coming back with some new doubt till the rest of my life. Thank you so much.
Professor Jyotka, Suraj Bedi, who is an assistant professor at Nagaland University, and he'll read some of the letters and his own reflection.
Thank you. Thank you, organizers and research scholars, for giving this opportunity to me. Before I read the letters, I would like to read my own note that I wrote. I have been working with Jyotka sir. I joined JNU in 2009. I submitted in 2018, so I come from that period of time. And it has been a wonderful experience learning through Jyotka sir's approach, his unique way to look at academia and social science research. So, Professor Jyotka made the real of Indian society visible to us through his writings, through his speeches. He exposes the real in the most banal corners of social life in India. And he forces, as you know, his unique style, he will force academia and the discipline to confront what it wants to ignore. And he suggests to expose the social world as it is, as you might have heard in the previous session also, not as the theories or concepts would want us to believe. And he keeps on revealing different cracks in sociological explanations and arguments about the real world. I think it's time, sir, you began with economists' understanding of class. Maybe now you can come back to class as sociological understanding of class and how it operates in Indian society. And Professor Jyotka kept on reminding through his writings, through his lectures, through our course that we did with him, Agrarian Change, in our MA third semester, that sociology offends common sense and sociology offends people. And maybe that's the approach that he takes in talking about several issues and problems. And he expanded the scholarship of caste by providing insights into how caste reproduces itself in different domains. So through his work, he is telling that if you look at caste in economy, it operates like this. If you look at caste in religion, it operates like this. If you look at caste in corporate hiring, it operates like this. And he's following caste in different domains, step by step, to tell us how it operates, it reproduces itself. And now this focuses on elites. And I remember during our MA days and MPhil days when I began working with Sir, and I went to his room. I'm sure all of you will remember that the moment you enter SSS2, the straight room that you see at the gate is Jyotka Sir's room. And we would see in the evening whether the light is on or not. And whenever late you go, 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., you just peep in and you will find, oh, sir is still there, he's working. That's the dedication, we get inspirations from his hard work, that he's always working on something beyond the office hours, beyond the timings. And I would ask him, when I joined MPhil, it was this India Against Corruption movement was going on in Delhi. Then later on, this 2016 happened in JNU. And we used to ask him, sir, what's your position? What do you think about these issues? What is our political position? And he would say that at max, you can call my position as citizenist's position. It's a citizen's position. And then he clarifies through his writings, particularly on farmers' movement and so on. So Professor Jyotka has contributed to the formation of categories and analytical arguments that are based in the lives of the people, in the relations they are embedded in the institutions people live in. And he has his unique approach that sets his approach different and remarkable, and his willingness to express his views honestly, without flattery, without pretense, and we should learn from his sharp critiques rather than being offended by him. And he kept telling me during my MPhil and PhD days that, Suraj, write in simple words, write for people, don't hide behind jargons. That is always the claim. Write in simple words. And that works on later. When you start, all those scholars who have worked with him recently, the moment you go to your own classroom to teach, the moment when you go on to supervise your own students, then these teachings will come into your mind. That why he was saying like this. So I thank Professor Jyotka sir for his contribution, for introducing different way of doing sociology which is relevant. Professor Jyotka's writings has been addressing many issues, crisis with social science faces in India. And I remember his unique contribution when he was the chairperson in CSSS when we were here in MPhil and PhD. We went to him and said, sir, we want one room where all the scholars can sit and work. And he said, yes, definitely. So he said, we want this committee room, room number 13. And that's the first time this room number 13 was opened for all the scholars to work, sit in the evening, in the night, in the morning, beyond the office and seminars. So he opened the space. It's your department, you sit, you work, and you contribute. So I thank sir for all his teachings inside the class, outside the class. And to the MA students, the final thing I would say that to train, he will be most brutal in his critique. But behind this critique, there is a care, sense of care is there. He wants to train all of us to think, to be able to conceptualize, to be able to understand. And that's his legacy. And that's the legacy that Jyotka sir has brought in his unwavering dedication to discipline, to social science, and to the wider society. Thank you, sir. Now I read a letter by one of his students, Ujitra Punya. She is presently working at the University of Witwatersrand, Johannesburg, South Africa. She writes, it has been an absolute pleasure to be supervised by Professor Jyotka and to witness his remarkable scholarship, cutting across caste, agrarian, regional, elite studies up close for the last 15 years. I first came to Sir for my MPhil supervision. I had read his heated exchange with Tom Brass in EPW between 1994 and 96 and was struck by his courage and clarity. In 2010, I wanted to study the witch hunts in Bihar and link them with agrarian questions. Sir, in his candid manner, told me, I have a feeling by the end of the fieldwork, they are going to have you up in the tree, as his unique style. I am grateful for the humorous ways in which he has steered my academic choices. His practical approach to research and academic life has been critical in helping balance the idealistic guidings that JNU has in its heyday could foster. Once after reading my draft, Sir said, we do not hide behind words and only Brahmins would write in this manner. In that moment, I learned to take courage in my direct writing voice, never fearing theory, always being grounded in the empirics are the other valuable academic lessons I have learned from Sir. Here wishing you the very best for the next leg of your intellectual life, Sir. It was the only other day that you published 5 books in a year and we cannot wait to see what you do next. Yeah. So there is one more letter by another student, Dr. Nilambar Chetri. He teaches at IIT Mandi. He says, Dear Professor Jyotka, greetings from IIT Mandi. Firstly, I would like to congratulate on your retirement from CSSS JNU. I fondly remember the discussions we had about various aspects of sociology in the esteemed halls and corridors of this great institution. I learned the fundamentals of research while working with you during my MPhil and PhD. It has been a great honor to be associated with you over the years. Your contributions to the field of sociology are immeasurable. I would have loved to meet you in person on this significant day. However, due to my academic commitments here on campus, I could not travel. I cherish the memories of the time I spent structuring my MPhil and PhD topics, and I'm grateful to all the guidance and support you provided along the way. The lessons I learned from you have greatly assisted me in navigating our academic journeys. Your dedication to integrity, honesty, perseverance, hard work, which I observed in your office on weekends, during holidays, has left a lasting impact on us. The depth and breadth of your generalizations and observations on various aspects of Indian society are evident in your scholarly work. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your support and guidance all these years. I wish you all the best in future endeavors and look forward to more books from you in the years to come. Wishing you good health and well-being. This is Nilambar. And then there is one more by Krishan Thakkar, who is right now teaching and working at SRM University, Amravati. He writes a note in gratitude about Professor Jodhka on his farewell from JNU. I had first heard about Professor Jodhka while I was pursuing MSW from TIS in 2009. My faculty then talked about his work. I was an activist and read less, so I did not know Professor Jodhka as I didn't read his work. Later, when I came to sociology at Delhi School of Economics for MPhil, I read his work. Around that time, Professor Jodhka also came up with this Oxford very short introduction on caste. I felt that my supervisor, Professor Satish Deshpande, should have written that book. I knew both are star scholars, but Professor Deshpande was mine. Then I came to JNU in 2019 for a PhD. The CSSS didn't have a seat, so I did sociology in CSLG. I, however, remained on the margins of CSSS physically and figuratively. CSSS informations, such as for seminars, seldom reached me. The website has not been updated since the critical year of 2014. I tried hard to be in the information circles, such as WhatsApp, but was unsuccessful until later when Shivam helped me. And then Dr. Sudhir Suthar made a RAIN group. At both these platforms, I could access Professor Jodhka's YouTube lectures along with his writings and often free soft copies of articles. Despite not being his research scholar, but only having audited an online course during the pandemic, Professor Jodhka has helped me. Despite me being based in CSLG and my work being informed by governance and place-making perspectives, Professor Jodhka finds at least 4 entries in my PhD dissertations and references. His writings and videos have helped me understand caste and the so-called rural and so on. My gratitude. During my PhD, I had ample chances to listen to Professor Jodhka online and offline inside JNU and outside JNU. I was proud that we, the JNU, have an old star illuminating JNU, the scholarly and intellectual world. I am sad that Professor Jodhka would no longer be serving at our university. I won't see his room and his old hand-painted nameplate. Thank you.
So this one fell on me. This is from your student, Dhriti. She writes that, underquote, Dear Sir, that Dear Sir is underquote. I have used these 2 words on many of the emails that I had sent to my supervisor, Professor Jodhka. Dear Sir, today on the occasion of your superannuation, I wish you all the very best for this new phase of your life. Your scholarship is well known, and something that we also highlighted in the introductory section, that your scholarship is well known, but it's your deep humility and kindness and trust that you had offered me which has shaped my journey in academia. Some say mentors guide quietly, but you have been a present mentor for me, and many life lessons that I have learned from you will always stay with me as I carry those lessons in life and in sociology forward. I wish I could have been there to celebrate your wonderful work with you today, but duty calls, and like you have always said, teachers are the lampposts who are there to guide students. So here I am doing my bit for my students. This new phase of your life is a celebration of all that you have achieved, and I wish you all the wonderful things that is yet to come. Sending you my warmest wishes, and see you soon. Underquote, Dear Sir. So as requested by one of the PhD scholars here, Sanjeev would like to say a few words in your honor.
हेलो सर, समझ में नहीं आ रहा कहाँ से स्टार्ट करूँ, क्योंकि कहानियाँ तो बहुत सारी है आपके साथ सर। मेरा नाम संजीव है। मैं MA में 2022 में मैंने अपना मास्टर कंप्लीट किया और मैं उस बैच का SFC था। तो मैं शुरू कर रहा हूँ सर से जब पहला कन्वर्सेशन हुआ। सारी क्लासेस ऑनलाइन थी, तो सर से पहला हर सेमेस्टर के पहले प्रोफेसर सर से SFC मीट होता था। तो नेटवर्क नहीं था, मैं अपने गांव में था, तो मैं बांध पे चला गया सर से। उस समय किस मीटिंग है, तो सर से बात किया तो सर पूछ रहे हैं कहाँ हो, तो मैं खेत में था एक्चुअली, बांध पे खेत होता था, तो बांध के किनारे। तो मैंने बोला सर ये मेरा इंडियन ट्रेडिशनल विलेज है। तो सर पूछे कि संजू क्या तुम श्योर हो कि इंडियन ट्रेडिशनल विलेज है? अब मैं डाउट में आ गया एक्चुअली। मैं इस बात को रोक के मैं कुछ बताना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि मेरा था BSc फिजिक्स ऑनर्स और लिटरली मुझे सोशियोलॉजी का ABCD कुछ भी नहीं आता था। तो मैं आया था और मुझे ना लगा कि सोशियोलॉजी को मैं बहुत हल्के में ले लिया था। मुझे लगा था कि चलो डरखाई वेबर और ये लोग के जैसा मैं भी जल्दी जल्दी कुछ टर्म पॉइंट कर देता हूँ कि हमारा भी नाम आएगा, कुछ इस तरह का जिज्ञासा मेरे अंदर था। तो और बहुत ज़्यादा जो बोलते हैं कि मतलब जिज्ञासा इतना ज़्यादा था कि मैं क्या बताऊँ, मैं सोचा कि टर्म पेपर में ही मैंने लिखना शुरू कर दिया। तो तब अब मैं सर, तो मुझे लगा कि सर, मैंने बोला कि लग रहा है ट्रेडिशनल विलेज कुछ अलग होता है। एक्चुअली मैंने इसलिए बोला कि सर के नहीं रहा, मुझे लगा कि इंप्रेशन बन जाएगा। और सर का नाम बहुत था, मुखर्जी नगर में तैयारी वारी करते थे लोग, तो वो लोग बताते थे कि इंडियन सोसाइटी पढ़ोगे तो सुरेंद्र सर जोतका को पढ़ना पड़ेगा, इनके बिना तुम नहीं पढ़ सकते हो। तो मुझे लगा मैं बहुत अपने आप मतलब बहुत खुश था उस सेंस में। तो फिर मैं डाउटफुल हुआ, फिर सर से पहली बार पता चला कि इंडियन ट्रेडिशनल विलेज कुछ और होता है, मेरा विलेज ट्रेडिशनल विलेज नहीं था। तो वहाँ से शुरू होती है चीज़ें। और सबसे बड़ी बात है कि सर का क्लास 1 घंटे का होता था, तो मेरे मन में इतना डाउट आता था। सर ने कभी रोका नहीं, वो क्लास 1 घंटे का था, वो क्लास कभी कभी 1.5 घंटे 2 घंटे, ऑन एन एवरेज 1.5 घंटे का तो क्लास रहता ही था। ठीक है, मैं शायद बहुत लोग को शायद हिंदी ना समझ में आया, तो आई एम सॉरी, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि लैंग्वेज इमोशन से अटैच होता है और मैं अपना इमोशंस इंग्लिश में व्यक्त नहीं कर पाऊँगा, तो मेरा इमोशन जो है हिंदी में आएगा। दैट्स व्हाई आई एम स्पीकिंग इन हिंदी हियर। तो इस सेंस में वो सब चीज़ें हुई। फिर उसके बाद से टर्म पेपर, जो बाकी लोगों ने सब कुछ तो मेंशन कर दिया, लेकिन टर्म पेपर लिखने का बात आया तो उस समय हुआ कि मैंने बोला सर आप बोल रहे हैं, जैसे क्वेश्चन भी सर दे दिए थे पहले ओपन बुक टाइप का कि इतना क्वेश्चन है इसमें से आएगा। तो मैंने बोला सर टर्म पेपर मैं लिख रहा हूँ, मैं तो आर्टिकल से कॉपी कर लूँगा, सर आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा, मैं क्या सीख पाऊँगा। मुझे बड़ी चिंता हो रही थी। सर से ऑफिस से बात करते, लाइब्रेरी कैंटीन हम लोग जा रहे थे, तो सर कह रहे हैं कि नहीं संजीव चिंता मत करो, मैं तो जान जाऊँगा, लेकिन सब वैसे ही करोगे, चिंता मत करो, तुम भी रेस के उसी लाइन से शुरू कर रहे हो जिस लाइन से बाकी लोग शुरू करते हैं। इसमें कुछ ऐसा नहीं है कि तुम बहुत यहाँ पे हार्ड फास्ट कोई लोग है कि सोशियोलॉजी असली तुम ही जानते हो। फिर क्लास में मुझे एक और चीज़ आया कि मैं बोला कि सर यहाँ मैथ्स पेपर गलत नहीं हो सकता है, क्योंकि मैं इसलिए पहले बताया कि मेरा बैकग्राउंड क्या था, साइंस था, तो मुझे लगता था कि गलत हो। तो सर बोले कि क्यों नहीं, तुम मैथ्स पेपर से भी बेहतर हो सकते हो, तुम डरखाई उनसे भी बेहतर हो सकते हो। सबसे बड़ी बात थी कि सर ने कभी मुझे रोका ही नहीं मेरे डाउट के लिए। नहीं होता है कि मैं बकवास ही करता था, मुझे आज याद आती है वो चीज़ें, तो मुझे लगता था मैं क्या पूछता था, लेकिन सर इनकरेज किए हमेशा से। मतलब अभी ऐसी बात है। फिर उसके बाद MA के बाद जर्नी ख़त्म हुई सर, और उस समय कोविड था, तो कोई टीचर या कोई भी ऑफलाइन मिलने का हिम्मत नहीं हो रहा था। मेरे बैच की रिक्वेस्ट पर मैंने सर से रिक्वेस्ट किया था। हम लोग पहली बार स्टेडियम में मिले थे, JNU स्टेडियम में, तो याद है, तो हम तो खूब फोटो लिए थे सर के साथ, तो सर भी हमसे सर खुश थे। मतलब बहुत सारी चीज़ें थी। मैं यहाँ एकेडमी की बात नहीं करना है, अपना पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस सर के साथ जो बाकी हो रहा है मैं बता रहा हूँ। तो बहुत सारी यादें रही हैं सर के साथ। फिर उसके बाद PhD में MA ख़त्म हुआ, PhD की लड़ाई शुरू हुई, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था, तो सर के साथ बैठे तो प्रपोजल को लेकर डिस्कस किए। तो सर बोले कि वो मैटर नहीं करता है तुम क्या कर रहे हो क्या नहीं कर रहे हो, मैटर ये आ रहा है कि तुम उसको कैसे कर रहे हो और किस तरह प्रेजेंट करोगे। तो लंबा हेडिंग बना के मैंने प्रपोजल सर के पास ले गया था। थोड़ा बहुत सर उसमें चेंज कराए, फिर बोले ये पढ़ के आओ, मतलब तरह तरह की चीज़ बोले, फिर पढ़ के गए, चेंज कराए, तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें हुई। तो फिर एडमिशन हुआ, बीच में थोड़ा गड़बड़ हो गई थी कुछ चीज़ें, तो मैं सर को इस बिहाफ पे और भी चीज़ें हैं कि सर मैं क्या बोलूँ, मैं भावुक हो रहा हूँ फिलहाल आपको लेके, लेकिन कभी आपने मतलब डिस्करेज नहीं किया मुझे। मैं देख रहा हूँ बाकी का क्या रहा क्या नहीं, मेरा क्लास लिटरली, हाँ मैं एक और सर के क्लास में 185 लोग इनरोल किए थे हमारे टाइम में इंडियन सोसाइटी में। तो सर आए 2-3 दिन, बोले कि ऐसा है कि तुम लोग आ रहे हो देख लेना, मैं यूपीएससी लायक नहीं पढ़ाता हूँ, मैं पूरा एकेडमिक पढ़ाऊँगा, ये कराऊँगा। मतलब यूपीएससी वाले लोग सभी लोग, सर का कोर्स का नाम था इंडियन सोसाइटी स्ट्रक्चर एंड प्रोसेसेस कुछ करके। तो उस समय फिर 4-5 दिन में फिर वो चीज़ें भीड़ कम हो गई, 80 भीड़। तो मैं डर गया कि क्या ऐसा बात है, इतने लोग आए और फिर चले गए। तो मैं सर के बारे में ज़्यादा उस समय जानता नहीं था, इनरोलमेंट कोर्स था, फिर लेकिन लगा पढ़े। उसके बाद से सर थैंक यू वेरी मच सर, आपने हर स्टेज पर मेरा सपोर्ट किया। और मैं सर इसके लिए मैं तो बोला, लेकिन मैं थैंक्स वर्ड बोल के आपको छोटा नहीं करना चाहता हूँ। मेरे लिए थैंक यू वर्ड मतलब आपके लिए, आपके सामने थैंक यू मैं बोल दूँ तो मैं आपको छोटा कर दूंगा, तो मैं थैंक्स नहीं बोलूँगा। और मतलब पता नहीं क्या, हमेशा मेरे तरफ सादर नमन है आपको सर इसके लिए। और मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि आगे का आपका करियर मैं भगवान से प्रार्थना करता हूँ और शानदार और बढ़िया हो। और सर मैं हमेशा आपके टच में रहूँगा, आप कहीं भी जाए आपको छोड़ने वाला नहीं, पकड़ के रखूँगा। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Just the last branch of letters. Jovi would read one, thereafter Harsha, and after that you are welcome to address and reminisce on the letters and messages.
A very warm greetings to all of you. So I'll read out a letter from Daisy Berman. She teaches at Gandhi Institute of Technology and Management University. So she writes, "Dear Sir, your students told me that they would be reading out short letters from your former students and asked if I would like to contribute. I realized that if I were to write you a letter, it could never be short. So here is a note on the day we celebrate you and gather to honor your contributions to sociology, both so far and the years yet to come. As we all know, Jyotka sir can never retire. It took me time to understand your method, your way of teaching, supervising, inhabiting the life of an academic. But gradually, that understanding became an anchor. I carry it with me everywhere. You jokingly said to me in one of my whining sessions after I submitted my PhD, and when I was drowning in the bleakness of academic precarity, he said to me, I have handed you the lantern, now don't complain that, sir, I can only see half a kilometer from here. Just walk with it and it will keep you, showing you the way farther. That one sentence, I often tell my friends was a paradigm shift moment for me. Now that I am a teacher myself, I often find myself mirroring you sometimes unconsciously and sometimes with complete awareness. However, it is not only the sociological training I received from you that stays with me now. It is your demeanor, your humanness, your sarcasm, your kindness, and most importantly, your silences that contribute to travel with me and shaping the way I move through my academic life in this troubled time for our discipline and for academia in general. Perhaps this is the spiritual contract that I have signed with you along the way, and I shall always try to carry the lantern you gave me as I move forward in my journey. With gratitude and warm wishes, Daisy Berman." Thank you.
A warm greetings to everyone. I am reading a letter of Malika Chaudhary. She is an editorial associate, very clearly into the MPhil while I was grappling with several ideas and trying to understand how to engage with them. He told me, and I am paraphrasing here, that one must always see how something is happening rather than being normative about it. Since then, I have always remembered that when I am working on something, to keep an open mind and to honestly engage with what one encounters. For me, what has always been really remarkable is Professor Jodka's generosity when it comes to sharing his knowledge and his ideas, and I know I am much richer for it. In the course of the PhD, he saw the potential in my work even when I have always unsure of what was I doing at times. He has always encouraged me to push my work, to make it better, to see what I can say, all while showing kindness and with his sense of humor intact. Thank you and congratulations, sir.
This one letter is not a letter but an audio, and this is from someone just above our center. I think CPS. This is from Yogendra Yadav. He has sent a voice note, so we are going to hear that. Are we going to join the mic?
I'm sorry I'm not here to join all of you in marking this momentous occasion for Professor Surinder Singh Jodka. Surinder and I go back a long way. This is in 1980s when we were together at the Punjab University, Chandigarh. He is a couple of years elder to me, but strangely, he was a student at that point, and I was a teacher. Of course, we were friends, and would participate in all the intellectual activities that happened at that university at that point. And we've kept in touch thereafter, though I'm afraid I've not followed all his writings. The one thing that stands out in whatever I've learned from Surinder, whenever I've managed to follow him, is his ability to bring us to the real social, whether it is caste. For him, it's not the caste of the scriptures or the caste of political ideologies, but the lived reality of caste. And the rural. His rural is not the rural of romantic imaginations, of nostalgia, but the rural society as it exists today, which is exactly what sociology should be all about. Some years ago, I had an exchange with a famous sociologist, and I think very unkindly, which I regret today, I had titled my response as Samaj se kata Samaj Shastra, sociology which is detached from, cut off from society. For Professor Jodka, I can certainly say this is Samaj se jura Samaj Shastra, sociology anchored in society, connected to society, connected to the concerns of society. Well done, Surinder Bhai. Look forward to more from you now that you are retiring, now that you would be free of the administrative and teaching responsibilities. We all expect a lot more from you as well. Thank you. Congratulations.
We have another letter from Prachi Hooda, who is a lecturer at OP Jindal University. She writes, I really wanted to join but could not. Professor Jodka, first for his immense work that provided me and many students and researchers from the region the conceptual foundation of understanding Haryanvi society, though sir's work and contribution are far wider. All that I learned from his work and also the person he is, so kind, so warm, and his heartwarming smile, I hope to learn much more from sir and his post-retirement works and conversations. Thank you.
I invite Professor, would you like to say some words as a reflection on how your collaborators and students have responded?
No, I don't have anything to say. I'm overwhelmed. I'm kind of, yesterday also, it was not the intellectual energy that I really enjoyed, but it was the warmth. And that warmth is something that is, obviously I should say I'm very, very fortunate, and we have continued that today. And I must say, I was telling my colleagues yesterday, when I joined JNU for many years, JNU has, when you are a faculty member here, many people feel it, that there is a set of teachers here who have studied in JNU. So I used to call them as JNU natives. And I didn't study here, I didn't work here for the past 11 years, 12 years.